Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Zelda Historia Guide to Ocarina of Time. This is part 3, in which I'm going to be getting a whole lot done in this whole 27-minute video. I'm going to be getting the Fairy Ocarina, go to Hyrule Castle, meet Princess Zelda, learn Zelda's Lullaby and Epona's song, the first two Ocarina songs, and get my 4th Gold Skulltulla, my first bottle, and the first 2 heart pieces. So all that's going to be covered in this video. The first 3 Gold Skulltullas are all in part 2, which is on obviously my channel, and is part of the Origin Timeline and Ocarina of Time playlists on my channel as well. So if you want to check those out, that's where you're going to find the first 3, and obviously the first heart container from the first level. If you want to skip to the parts you need a guide for in this video, rather than watching all 27 minutes of it if you don't need to, there are links in the About section below, so you don't have to scroll through the whole thing if you don't want, so that's just kind of an easy way to find everything. And, just please like, subscribe, and comment all your thoughts. I really appreciate you watching, so, yeah, that's kind of the basics of what we're going to do this time, and we're going to get going. So, obviously right now, Link is getting the Fairy Ocarina, which is how you can just learn some of the basic songs on the Ocarina. Later you'll get the Ocarina of Time and throw your childhood friend's important gift away, never to see it again. Kind of a dick like that, I guess, but yeah. And you just leave. So, see you later, Saria. You don't really have to see her again for a long time, although I'm going to be seeing her again in part 4. You can get a couple heart pieces and Saria's song in there. I mean, I guess you have to get Saria's song, but it becomes a lot less important than she seems right now. Anyway, so now we're leaving Kokiri Forest for the first time to see Hyrule Castle, Hyrule Field, like kind of the bigger scope of the game. I'm going to head straight toward Hyrule Castle to talk to Princess Zelda, just like the Deku Tree said. This is also, like a good chance to explore the rest of the game a little bit if you want. There's not too much you can do yet in Hyrule Field, so really you can just kind of go straight toward the castle. But in this video, we're gonna have to watch Keipora Gaebora talk about stupid crap, this retarded owl, for what feels like an hour. Even though you have to already know these things to have gotten through the first level, it just feels like repeating how to use the map. So now that we've done that, we're going to head right over to Hyrule Castle. And something interesting about, if you're in Hyrule Field, time passes while you're in the field and while you're near the castle. But in, Castle Town, in Kakariko Village, and Kokiri Forest, all these places, time doesn't move at all. Literally, it won't pass from day to night. So that's something to keep in mind, for gameplay's sake. Some things only happen at day or night. So you kind of have to run straight toward the castle to get there before it's nighttime and the gate goes up. So keep that in mind. If it does become nighttime, some skeleton creatures will come attack you. Unless you're on the road, actually. If you stay on that dirt road, then they won't bother you, actually. But yeah, so now we're at Castle Town. Made it just before the gate went up. And once you're in here, there's a couple people to talk to. At night it's a lot more dead, but the only one you really need to talk to is Malon here, the little girl singing near the middle of the town. I think the game's just assuming you'll talk to everyone you can find, but Malon's the only one you need to speak to in order to advance, because you can't get into the castle without talking to her. And right here, I think it's assuming that you're going to get caught by the guards trying to go toward the castle at least once. But if you don't, and you know how to get past them, you have to go toward the castle, back toward the town, and back toward the castle again to make Malon move into this area so you can talk to her again and you can proceed. I mean, if you do get caught by the guards, they just throw you back to where we are right now. So it's not too big a deal, but again, it's pretty simple to get past them, so I'll be showing you that in a minute. So since we're running back, this is also a good time to get the first heart piece. Don't freak out, but right now, obviously, the video just cut from one side of the town to the other, because I kind of wandered around trying to remember how to get this heart piece, to be honest. But all you have to do is get this white dog here, that's kind of hiding over in the corner, to follow you around, which you do just by walking by it. Then you lead it back to its owner here in the back alley, who gives you the first heart piece for doing it. She just thanks you for bringing little Richard over, and there you are. So now that we've got that done, we can head back toward the castle. Here, Malon's going to give you a Cucco egg, actually. It's sort of a chicken egg in Ocarina of Time terms. It'll hatch whenever time moves from night to day. Whenever dawn breaks, this egg will hatch for you. And you need the Cucco to proceed. You need it to be hatched. And again, keeping in mind that time doesn't pass in Castletown, you have to be in either Hyrule Field or on this path here for it to turn to daytime so it can hatch. So here's the weird egg as it refers to it. I like that they use the word weird, I don't know how it's different from any normal egg, but there you go. So now, the way to get past the closed gate is to climb up these vines, head straight over to the castle. And really this part's pretty obvious. It's just basic sneaking around. I mean, there's guards there, and there's guards to Link's left right now, but you can just go straight between them, and that's pretty straightforward. From what I understand, if you're going up these steps here, there are guards placed on either side. If you go straight through the middle, from what I understand, they can't see you. I've never really bothered doing it because you can just climb up this wall here instead, but that is an alternative if you feel the need. And you can go ahead and jump in the moat where they won't see you, and you can get some rubies anyway. And your chicken hatched. Now, we're going to talk to Malon's dad, Talon. Very original names. Look at him, pull out the chicken, and he'll freak out, realizing that he overslept on the ground. And speaking of Lon Lon Ranch, as he was just mentioning, we're going to be going to Lon Lon Ranch later in this video to get a couple things. You don't have to go there, but there's kind of some nice things you can get as well. So we'll be doing that in a little bit. Now here, obviously, this is a pretty simple puzzle. Just grabbing blocks and, pushing them over. I think we're supposed to believe that those are giant crates of milk because of Talon. So I guess you're just wasting them really by dropping them here where no one's going to move them all game. Again, some of the stuff Link does is I don't know, I feel like he kind of is a dick in some cases, but I mean, he has to be to save the world, but it feels like you're doing things that aren't really helping other people out. Alright, so now we're in the castle courtyard. And this is another part, like, obviously the guards just have a pretty simple pattern to watch. You can just do it how I'm doing it, or, you know, if you don't time it right, then they move in pretty obvious patterns. So, I guess you can try and get those rupees, but I never really bother, so don't worry too much about them. There's really not that much to spend rupees on in this game, to be honest, so there's not a big need to, like, hunt down lots and lots of rupees. Your wallet's pretty small, too. Like, I'm pretty sure it only goes up to 500 in this game. You start with 99, and once you get the biggest wallet in the game, it's still pretty small. But that sort of makes sense, considering how little you have to use it, so whatever works, I guess. Of course, you know, if you do get caught during this part, they just throw you back out to where those cartons of egg, or milk, or eggs, or whatever were. So it's not too big a deal, you can just climb right back into the castle. So I guess the guards are pretty stupid, which is probably why Ganondorf had a really easy time taking over Hyrule in this game. Spoilers. And here's the room with Zelda, so we've finally met the title character. I'm just showing you a little Easter egg here, actually, for Nintendo fans. Through the window here, you can see some portraits of some familiar Mario characters. Mario, Peach, and Bowser are all there. They look like how they did in Super Mario 64, which came out like 2 years before this game. So, just a fun little thing Nintendo threw in there. And here, I mean, all you have to do is talk to Zelda. She'll ask you some questions that have, you know, it's pretty obvious how you're supposed to answer them. If you don't answer them the right way, then you just have to repeat it. Like, you just have to repeat that part of the conversation again, because she just is, like, not believing you if you argue anything, so since it's quite a bit of text, you should probably just not be a smartass and just answer it the way you should, but I guess that's up to you. Big reveal, as if it wasn't obvious that blonde eyebrow girl here is Zelda with the Triforce symbol on her head. I like that it even gives you the option to say no to that, though. Like, no, I don't really want to keep your secrets, like, no big deal. Just, you should very obviously not trust me, since you just met me, but anyway, this scene's just going over a bit more about the creation of Hyrule and the Triforce by the three goddesses. Obviously, the Triforce plays a very big role in Zelda games, especially the flagship, like, big console games like this one. So this is pretty important to the plot, I guess. Like, so it's probably good to watch and helps you understand kind of the Zelda universe. It reminds me again, though, like, that it's odd that this game isn't still chronologically first in the series, since it keeps explaining the creation of the world and introduces the characters how it does, but I don't know. Whatever, I guess they just like doing prequels at this point. If you look at the timeline, like, all the original games happened last and all the new games happened first. So maybe someday we'll see them actually move the plot forward rather than backward, but we will see. Never clicked no on that. Kind of wonder if she, like, repeats that entire scene if you don't click yes, but Not sure. And the Dark Cloud Man, Ganondorf. Introduction of the other major character in the Zelda world. Kind of the main villain of the series. He's not in, like, all of the games. He's definitely not in as many as Link and Zelda are, but he's kind of the central villain to the series. Like, most of the games, he's either the final boss, or someone is trying to revive him, or there's something about him relevant to the game, so kind of an important guy. I don't believe you. Zelda's just full of shit. I also kind of like that they're 10 years old in this game. Like, I know the original Zelda game, and sort of from then on, a lot of the time Link is a little kid. But logistically, like, these two 10-year-olds are trying to stop this man from getting the Triforce. Like, I just feel like it's not a very good plan, but just saying. Now, Impa here is going to teach you your first Ocarina song. She's going to be teaching you Zelda's Lullaby, which you've kind of been hearing anyway. All you do is play the notes on the screen in order. You don't have to play at the right time or anything in these games, unlike in Wind Waker, which they changed things up for a bit. All you have to do is just hit the notes in order, and in future, if you forget how the songs go, you can just see them on the menu, so it's not too difficult. They just all have different effects, really. And they're usually just the same part repeated twice, because the game doesn't want to make this too difficult, I guess. He's like, shit, my Ocarina's glowing. Now Impa's going to take you right out of the castle, even out of Castle Town, over to Hyrule Field, and going to tell you to go to Death Mountain. You're looking at right now, it's past Kakariko Village. So that's really the next place you need to go to progress the plot. You can head right there if you want, although you're going to need to go back to Kokiri Forest to keep moving forward at some point, which I'm going to be doing at the beginning of Part 4 rather than going immediately there. But to finish off this video, we're actually going to go to Lon Lon Ranch, like I was saying, to talk to Malon and Talon, because there's a couple other things we can get. This is all actually, like, the Lon Lon Ranch area is optional, so if you want to just, like, cut through, like, just get the bare minimum stuff, this part isn't necessary, but we're going to get a heart piece, a Gold Skulltulla, an empty bottle, and an Ocarina song here, so it's very helpful too, so it's probably good to watch this part, but you know, if you're trying to just like beat the game quickly, you don't have to really do this. It's gonna pull a the establishing shot here. And first thing you're going to do, head over to the left here and you can talk with Talon again. And we're going to play a little mini game where he's going to throw these 3 Cuccos into the rest of them. And you have to go find the right ones. If you see where they go, you can follow them pretty easily. But if you don't, a pretty good strategy is to just throw all the ones you've already tried into a corner so you can keep track of what's what. To be honest, I kind of screwed up in this video. I mean, I succeed, but you have to do it in under 30 seconds, and I did it, like, barely within that time. And it costs 10 rupees. Not too bad. And 30 seconds, go. 1. And the last 2 I get in the last, like, 2 seconds of this. Yep. And once you succeed, he'll talk to you about marrying Malon, because he's kind of a creep with 10-year-olds. And he'll give you Lon milk, which is actually, like, you can drink 2 gulps of it, I guess, that heal you. But the important thing, actually, is the bottle. There are 4 bottles in the game. Like, empty bottles in Zelda are pretty helpful because you can just use them to refill them with whatever you want. So you can get more milk, like he said, but you can also get potions that heal you more, and you can get fairies, which you're going to be seeing later. And fairies are kind of like the best thing to put in empty bottles because they may not heal you as much as potions, depending on what game you're playing, but they also automatically bring you back to life if you die, so they're pretty helpful. Definitely a must-have for some of the later levels in this game. Now head on over to the middle of the ranch, and you have to talk to Malon 3 times, actually, in this part. I guess probably kind of hard to just assume on your own, but you just talk to her about the horses, how this horse Epona is kind of afraid of you, and that you're going to play the ocarina along with her song. And this is actually Epona's song, the second song we're going to learn. The important thing here, it makes Epona come toward you, but what's going to happen later is once you're an adult, you can use it to get Epona to come to you, so you can have a horse to ride around on. You can't do that as a kid yet, but it'll come in handy later. You actually don't have to get Epona. It's optional in this game, even though it's like in the main menu screen, so it seems like it'd be important, but you can use Epona to get around a lot quicker, so definitely a good thing to do. So now another extra thing I can do is if you go to the back of the ranch here, you can get your second heart piece, which is in this little building over here. I kind of fail here and jump around on the boxes, since I guess that's the hardest part of the game for me, but once you push the blocks away, there's a hole in the wall over here that leads to the second heart piece. So, like I said, I guess I just kind of failed on this part a little bit, but not too bad. Yeah. Stop climbing up, Link. You can pull this one way. Jump up. This is like one of the only times the camera in Ocarina of Time did a really lousy job. When you're in like little corners like this and it pulls out away from you. But anyway, that's the second heart piece. There's one more thing we gotta do actually before we wrap this video up. We're actually gonna go to the front of the ranch again. I guess I could have done this before, but all you have to do is, if you roll into this tree correctly, so you don't like, you know, you sort of have to make it like Link hits his head. It makes like this thudding sound to make things fall out of trees. Like sometimes you can get rupees and stuff, but in this case, you can get your 4th Gold Skulltulla. I'm honestly, like, I'm not really keeping track of how many I'm not trying to get absolutely every one, like I said. You'll need to get like 50 to get all the important stuff, but you're at 4 now. And that wraps everything up for this video. So next we're going to get a couple more things done before we go to level 2, so see you next time.